Hello viewers, through STEM Talks, we bring to you thoughts that trigger convergence and divergence. Darwin, a scientist pursuing evolution, was inspired by economists of his time. A book he read by Adam Smith, he became familiar with the idea of competition, and a book by Malthus introduced him to a concept of how populations struggle for existence. His readings, combined with his observations, triggered his thoughts on natural selection and general theory of evolution as we know it today. Self embargoes only cost us time and technology. We need thought to flow freely in order to explore. Today, we have for you a very special guest, Mr. L.G. Ramakrishnan, or Rama San as we call him affectionately. San is a salutation which means Mr. in Japanese. He is Senior General Manager at Managing Director's Office, Hitachi India Pvt. Limited. He is an electronics and telecommunication engineer with over 30 years of experience and has championed STEM education. Diving straight into the questions, Ramasan, we want to know from you, why are industry leaders so interested in STEM education?
Thank you, Mr. Bhuvan, and for the introduction. And I'll be very glad to interact with STEM students and encourage them to pursue the path of STEM education. Uh, my answer to your question is that in today's dynamic world, we need to ensure that we speak the language that the future is going to be built on. That means STEM education creates critical thinkers, enhance science literacy, and enables the next generation of innovators. Since we are at the beginning of the fourth industrial revolution, uh, business leaders require STEM graduates who can play a pivotal role in developing meaningful solutions to societal problems.
Certainly, certainly. These challenges need to be overcome by the young graduates, things we can't even imagine right now. But one thing that is important, I feel, is hands-on training. Ramasan, with such vast experience in industry, how important do you feel is hands-on training for school students?
Okay, hands-on training is very important, and I would like to divide my response into three parts. The first part is that normally students experience a huge increase in the amount of information that they uh, retain when given the opportunity to practice what they are learning. Studies have shown that when you are passive, that is in a classroom, and only listen intently, then the amount of information you retain is only about 20%. But on the other hand, if an opportunity is given to you to practice what you have just learned, the retention capacity or the increases to 75%. That's what I am told. So the when students are given an opportunity to learn in a practical hands-on environment, they are often more engaged and stimulated and want to learn as much as possible. Students' critical
Certainly.
thinking and
Yeah.
analytical skills increases in a hands-on training environment. This occurs since students must make decisions on what to do next to receive the outcome they are striving to obtain. They no longer have to rely on memory and attention as they sit in a lecture environment in a classroom.
Certainly, certainly, Ramasan. This actually, uh, is a is a very open, response from you, looking at three aspects of how learning is developed through hands-on learning, and what are some of the challenges students might face while they are doing just, attending lectures. Okay, moving on to my next question. Ramasan, can you tell us what are some of the myths and misconceptions that you've heard about STEM education?
Well, my answer would be that students generally believe that you need to be a genius from birth to do something in STEM. However, it is not true. Anyone can succeed in STEM. Comfortable science is the norm. And all of you should know that scientific progress is built on failures. In fact, most students and professionals draw their inspiration from failure. Mistakes teach them to recognize the weaknesses and work around new and improved strategies. As you all know, I would like to take example of two famous personalities in the world. One is Albert Einstein, and another is Thomas Alva Edison. Both of them, from initially, they were facing failures in their professional life, but they never gave up. For example, Thomas Alva Edison, when he invented the incandescent lamp, he was successful. He, after thousand failures and the 1001th attempt, he was successful. Similarly, Albert Einstein uh, initially was not successful, but he was working as a clerk in a patent office in Switzerland. And during his free time, he used to write his thoughts on relativity, and he was trying to publish it in a scientific journal. But the scientific journal rejected it in the first attempt. The second attempt also it was rejected. And in the third attempt, he never lost hope. He again improved his papers, and the third attempt it was accepted by the scientific journal, and he became very famous after that. So failures are a part of the STEM education, and we should never be discouraged.
Thank you. Thank you so much for, sharing some of the myths and misconceptions. Yes, you certainly do not need to be a genius to pursue STEM. Rather, STEM helps people become genius. Like you mentioned, through perseverance, reattempts, and revisiting these ideas, Thomas Edison and Einstein became what they became. Through perseverance. Okay. So moving on to my next question, Ramasan, can you name one STEM challenge that the students will have to solve in the future?
Okay. My answer would be that in the near future, students will have to deal with decisions involving food shortages, housing shortages, climate change, availability and affordability of medicines, and hundreds more. In such scenario, as future innovators and entrepreneurs, students will often be in a dilemma to make decisions based on ethical considerations and responsible conduct. So they have to balance between the two and take a decision. That is my advice to them.
Thank you, Ramasan. Ramasan, with such a 3 decade long experience that you have, and also technical training that you received, you are a leader in the community. But still, there must be some STEM leader that you would follow on social media or otherwise. Can you tell us more about that personality?
Well, my answer would be that the one person I really admire is Elon Musk, as you all know, Elon Musk is a famous person who invented the electric car, and the name of the brand name of the car is called Tesla. And all students should look up to becoming like him, given all the contributions he has made in science and technology. Elon Musk is not only a visionary and a transformational leader who dreams to achieve big, but also an inspirational icon for all generations. Musk, Elon Musk has invented such path-breaking uh, technology like electric cars, reusable space vehicles, which is successful. He demonstrated recently. And then now he's into mobile phones, which need not require charging. No charging is required for a mobile phone. So I think he's one of the great STEM leader. I will follow, and I will also advise you to follow.
Thank you. Thank you, Ramasan. So, Ramasan, you mentioned upon several aspects, in the past questions, like space technology, reusable battery power, solar powered uh, charging, decentralized energy, food shortages. All of these will create, some challenges. We want to know from you what are some of the STEM career choices that students can aspire for in the coming years?
My answer would be STEM programs open the door to many different careers. Students can explore diverse opportunities such as modern robotics, biotechnology, artificial intelligence, modern farming, food technology. STEM jobs are often referred to as the jobs of the future. STEM students can also apply their technical knowledge to law, politics, and education, which we normally consider as a non science subject. But science is so pervasive that it can be applied to all fields in our daily life.
Absolutely. Science is pervasive, and we want to know from you. It must certainly play some role in, in building great team players. As a leader of industry, as a champion of STEM, we want your insight on what are some of the must attributes of a team player.
Well, according to me, the answer would be for this question is that an individual must be a good communicator in order to become an effective team player. One should be sensible enough to carefully choose his or her words while sharing the thoughts and opinion with others. The easiest way to become a good conversationalist is to become a good listener. The royal road to win people's heart is to allow them to talk about themselves and make them feel important in a sincere and appreciative way.
That is
That's
a very honest answer, Ramasan. Thank you. Uh, Children will certainly, learn to be better communicators and build their lexicon, not just in languages, but also in technical subjects like science, physics, chemistry, bio, and also from humanities. And that brings me to my next question. What is your favorite quote, equation, or formula, and why?
uh, well, I really like to quote Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, as you all know, Steve Jobs is a famous person. He's an Apple founder, and Apple iPhones, Mac laptops, all are Steve Jobs' entrepreneurship, which created these products. He said that life can be much broader once you discover that the simple fact that anything around you that you call life was made up by people who were no smarter than you, and you can change it, you can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use. Once you learn that, you will never be the same again. So this is my uh, favorite quote, and I would also like everybody to try to follow Steve Jobs, the famous Apple founder.
Certainly, certainly, Ramasan, and you are an influencer in the industry, and certainly students are going to emulate what you are saying. Moving on to the next question, Ramasan, children took to digital classes very easily. It became very intuitive for them to sit next to a computer and do classes. They are now going back to school slowly but certainly. Please share tips for them on setting up STEM clubs. What can they do there, and what must they practice? Please.
Um, I would, my idea would be that STEM clubs in school have huge potential to make students more interested in science and technology. Initially, these clubs can be set up by identifying a core team of passionate students who show an interest in STEM pathways, uh, post which students could design a strategic vision and goal to be built, goal of the club they can have. So this is one way to encourage the offline, that is digital classes easily. The next stage would be that the club could uh, s- seek the resources from Atal Innovation Mission, that is Atal Tinkering Labs, which many schools have been um, uh, allowed by the government of India to set up Atal labs. So these labs will give a good opportunity to the students, and also their mentors who are their own teachers in the schools will be help them to inculcate the idea of innovation, creative thinking. So STEM clubs will help in this way for students.
Certainly, Ramasan, and you have been a STEM champion all your life, and you have facilitated several STEM labs and interventions across India, not just for students, but for the employees also to participate in STEM activities. My next question is, what is a quick DIY challenge that you will suggest for our audience that they can do?
Uh, DIY challenge. You see, today in India, DIY, do it yourself, this concept and availability of kits is very, very in a uh, nascent stage. That means it is yet to take off. But I would advise students that were uh, that they should uh, go and fetch some things in their own house, which are often of no use, and make something innovative with those items. For example, you design a, a drawbridge or construct a drawbridge using a cardboard and DC motor and get a taste of civil engineering, or build a kaleidoscope or something like that. But you have all these ideas, good ideas you can get is uh, in one of the website. They called the smalllabs.com. We can give you that link where you can go and see for yourself various ideas given which can be built up.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, with that, Ramasan, we thank you for your insights and your time, for sharing your vision, your journey of STEM. Uh, the history of technology is the history of apprenticeship, trial and error. Bricage, being a tod engineer, as you mentioned, get things around you and create something new from it. Take off the shelf technology and create something new from it. There are infinite decimal points between 0 and 1, and so are ideas amongst people, like you said. Through these talks, we share finite, prime, select ideas with our students and encourage them to explore more. We endeavor to connect our students with leaders who have undertaken this journey of learning, self discovery, and action. We invite students to visit our website, India STEM Foundation, and to explore Robo Shiksha Kendra. If they don't have a Robo Shiksha Kendra around them, they must start their own club. And we encourage all our students to share this video amongst their peers and parents to encourage STEM education in the society. Thank you very much, Ramasan, once again for sparing time, and namaste to all our viewers.